Hey guys, welcome back to our other part of our model. This is the part which we are going to finish up our model before we go to our landscape. Now, if you're new here, kindly subscribe to our channel, turn on the notification button so you don't miss videos whenever we post. Now, let's get started, guys. So thank you guys for coming to this part of the A to Z series, and we are going to continue from our railing. So we are going to place our railings wherever we see our railings. As you can see, this is definitely not what is on our elevation, as you can see, but on the plan we have a different thing entirely, so we are going to follow the elevation. I had to check my reference elevation properly, and then I have to do the adjustment. This is not what is on the plan, but we have to do the adjustment and remove whatever is not there, just so we can have the elevation the way it is. Simply means that we don't need that beam right there. Now this is how it looks like on the elevation, but different thing on the plan. So we're just going to follow the elevation. Now this is what it looks like, and it's falling on the window. We're just going to shift the window out of that position. So we'll place our little effect. Mode, whatever you could call it, a mode effect on our wall using slab. Make sure you get the measurement. We're working on scale, so everything has to look to scale. working with a scale, making sure everything is the right measurement. And this is what we have on the left side elevation. As you can see, we have to make sure it's looking the same. So we're going to place our window, okay, and that's it. And then we can place our some of the doors that we have. We're just trying to make sure everything looks the same with our elevation. Even if it is not properly represented on the plan. That is the difference between using AutoCAD and Archicad. Archicad gives you exactly what you have on the plan and the elevation. But if you're using AutoCAD, you're just drawing the elevation based on how you understand it. You have a different elevation in your head, and then you have a different representation on the plan. So it doesn't really go the same way. In most cases, in AutoCAD, you make these mistakes. It always is rampant to make these mistakes in terms of representing what you have on the plan. But using a 3D modeling software like Archicad, Revit, or whichever one you use for your modeling and your documentation, it gives you exactly what you have on the plan. It's like garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you put is what you get. So we just placed our canopy right now and created the hole using our magic wand tool function. The magic wand tool function is holding down your space bar, okay, to create the magic wand tool. Then you making sure the tool you want to subtract is selected and you click. So I've done that in my previous video, and if you've been watching my video, you would have come across this many a time. So if I do it in my videos, you don't be surprised because you must have known it. You know what I'm doing already. You understand? So it's important. If you're just seeing this for the first time, you subscribe to my channel, and watch other videos before you would finish watching like 10 of my videos. Be you would know a lot of things in Archicad that you might not have come across before. Okay, so we are just creating another canopy right now, and we are going to make sure our slab is activated and using the magic wand to holding down our space bar and then subtracting the holes. As you can see, the roles our slab is playing a very vital role in terms of creating our facade. So in most cases, for the newbies, slab is not just because of you want to use it for slab. You can use it for a lot of things. A lot of things you can imagine. Same thing, I think same thing with Revit too. So it's all about your creativity and what tools you think can perform a certain function you want to do. So you just go ahead and use it. If you think a wall can create that what you want to do, you go ahead and use a wall. If you think morph is good enough for what you want to do, you go ahead and use morph. If you think slab is good enough for what you want to do, you go ahead and use slab. If you want to create an opening and you think window is good enough, go ahead and use windows. So far it represents what you want, and make sure it is representing the same thing on plan too. So make sure it's not looking like something else and you're creating something else. So make sure it's representing what you want on your plan. So in most cases, like this, for instance, this cornices, this mold, I use slab because wall behave a certain way. It connects with other walls. So that's why sometimes in most cases I use slab so that it doesn't start creating some errors on what you have already done before. Like what we did in the ground floor. So we could easily use what's it called? We could easily use slab, but wall would be faster. That's why I switched the face. If you've been following from the ground floor, switch the face so that it doesn't connect. You might want to ask, why am I not doing the same thing on the ground, on the other floors? Because I just want to use slab, and that's it. There's no, if wall works for it, fine, go ahead and use wall. If wall doesn't, if slab works for you, go ahead and use whatever you feel like using. Just go ahead and use it. So far it's representing what you want. There's no rules to a certain thing you want to do on using, just trying to create a facade. There's no, so far you can create what you want. Go ahead and use it. And so far it represents what you want to see. Go ahead and use it. Sometimes some people use complex profile for that effect. You just change the walls and do the complex profile. But I don't want that. I don't want to do that. It's not something I cannot do, but I don't want to do it. So just do whatever works for you and make sure on your plan it's showing. Or if you want to see it on your plan, make sure it's showing and representing the right thing. Okay. So you can achieve a lot of things in different ways. You can achieve a lot of things in different, but make sure your plan is appropriately represented. Okay, your plan is appropriately represented with what we have on your 3D. It's all about your creativity. So I just copied, selected that face because it's the same thing with the other face. So I just selected that face and grouped it. Okay, so I'm going to delete this face and I'm going to mirror it instead of creating it all over again. So I'm going to select it, unsuspend the group and mirror a copy of it. So the front part is the same, but the other part, the back part is not the same. So it's a different design at the back part, but the front part is the same. So that's why I mirrored it. I don't have to create it all over again. A lot of people want me to talk in my videos, and the truth is that I don't need to talk all the time. The most important thing is that you understand what I'm doing on the screen. As in, you can see what I'm doing, and it's not like I'm doing magic. I make sure I do step by step of what I don't try to be too fast or try to cut corners, use shortcuts you don't understand. Everything I do on the screen, I make sure I show you the workflow where I click and all that. My mouse are showing where the cursor is showing where it's clicking and what it's doing. So you can also learn by looking. So you can also learn by looking. Like for me, I learn more when I see what somebody is doing. I don't need to hear what you're saying. So far I'm seeing what you're doing. Okay, the most important thing, that's why we are architects or we are visualizers, whoever you are. Okay, so if you are a visualizer, you learn by seeing, not talking all the time. Sometimes we can talk and talk and talk. You don't even understand what we are saying. So you learn by what you see somebody doing. So that's why sometimes I don't have to talk in some of my videos. I just walk, and the workflow are there for you to see. And in most cases, I just add maybe one or two subtitles for you to understand what I actually did. So we're just doing our final touches, putting the railings wherever we want, windows and here and there, looking at our reference to see if we're actually doing the right thing. So do well to subscribe and like, share to your friends, and then just subscribe, help us grow. So you can create more of these kind of tutorials, or we can create even better tutorials. And I still want to thank my subscribers for watching, for subscribing, for coming back. Trying to do some finishing touches here and there, adding windows where we left, where we omitted, and all that, before we are going to create our parapet wall, which is going to be our final stage, and our roof too. Mind you, this 3D is just for the 3D for 3D for the exterior part of it. It's not for documentation. As you can see, we are just doing the exterior part of it. It's not for documentation or trying to create a construction drawing from it. We are just creating the 3D, the model of the plan and the proposed elevation. Okay, so we are not using it for documentation, so it's not going to be too detailed in terms of some certain things you can't see. If it was for documentation, we are going to pay attention to what you can't even see on the 3D. We are going to pay attention to the interior part of it and some other few things that you can't see, but which will be revealed in the construction part, in the construction drawing. So that's why this 3D is just for the 3D presentation, not for documentation purpose. If it was for documentation purpose, there are some certain things we are not going to omit. In fact, there are a lot of things we are not going to omit in terms of the construction part of it. So we are trying to change our front wall to gray, and you can see that there is a slab dividing it. We are going to change that slab by cutting that part out of it and then replacing it with a separate slab. You might ask me why I chose to do it. Why don't I just take the wall up? No, I'm not going to take the wall up because just in case you want to cut a section from it, that place will still act like a slab. It doesn't have to act like a wall going up, because that's not what we want. It's still going to be a slab, but it's a separate slab so that we can change the color. And we just place our parapet wall, and it doesn't have a coping, so we are going to make it have a coping by changing it to complex profile wall so that we can have the edit function when we right click, and then you draw your coping. Get a proper height, do the same overhang, and then we are good to go. Then save it, change the material and save it. It's important you save it so that you can always apply it to other wall you want. If you don't save it, you're going to just be injecting and injecting. As you can see, so I just clicked everything and changed the name, just switch it. So that's the importance of saving it. But if you don't save it, you cannot change it all at once. You have to go and start injecting one by one. So we want to draw our roof. We are getting close to the end of this part. Our modeling part, the building modeling part. In our subsequent video, we're going to show you how we did the landscape. So I just drew a flat roof, and using the subtract and additional adding of polygons in our from our pet palette to get the shape. So you're going to change the angle, the slope of our roof. It's a flat roof, but has a little slope on it. So I might have left the roof like this, but I want the roof to show. So you're just going to change the settings. I think we are done with this, and here we have our 3D completed. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next one.